It doesn't matter whether you're an A-level student, a GCSE student, or an international student. In this video, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about imports and exports. I'm going to talk about what exactly they are, and we're also going to discuss the factors that affect them. You'll have evaluation points given to you that you can use either in your exam, in your coursework, or just in your general homework. So let's start by looking at what exactly imports and exports are. A recent survey came out that said 14% of all albums sold in America come from British artists. Those are people like Ed Sheeran, The Wanted, One Direction, Adele. They do really well in the American charts. What does that tell us from an economic point of view? It tells us that the British entertainment industry is a big export for the UK. It's not just our music that other countries love, it's films and TV as well. Downton Abbey is really popular in America. And what you may not know is Dick and Dom in Da Bungalow is also really popular in North Korea. They play it every day from 5 till 9 at night on their TV, and if you don't watch it, you get shot. If you go to the capital Pyongyang, there is a life-size statue of both Dick and Dom playing the game Bogies. So what exactly are imports and exports? Well, let's focus on imports to begin with. They are demand for goods that are from outside of the UK. So whatever country you're in, it's demand for goods that come from outside of that country. Now in the UK, our three biggest imports are from Germany, the US and China. Those are the countries that we import from the most. What you may not know is that 60% of everything we import is manufactured goods. It's not raw materials, it's goods that have already been made that we're going to take and then sell on to other people. In terms of our exports, a definition is that an export is demand for UK goods in other countries. So whatever country you're in, it's demand for your products in other countries. So what exactly do we export? We've already spoken about films and TV, but they're not our biggest things. Our biggest exports in the UK are guns, bullets, bombs and drugs. Basically, it's like our country's run by 50 Cent.
G-Unit in the house, what? G-Unit in the house, what? G-Unit in the house, what?
We actually do import a lot, as we know, from America. As I said, they're one of our three biggest countries we import from. Over the years, we've imported stuff such as fast food restaurants, coffee shops, and morbid obesity. Some things, like will.i.am, we imported a long time ago, and we've been trying to give back for ages, but they don't seem to be very interested. So that's what imports and exports are, but what exactly are the factors that affect how high your imports and exports are in your country? Well, the first thing is the exchange rate. As your currency gets stronger, this means that your exports will drop and your imports will go up. This means aggregate demand goes down. And why is this? Well, just think about it. If we're in the UK and the pound gets stronger, that means we can buy more of products from other countries because the pound is strong. So if I wanted to buy something from America, I can buy more things in dollars because I'm using pounds. Therefore, I'll be able to import more. However, if an American tried to buy something from the UK, they'll find that actually the dollar is quite weak, which means they probably won't be able to afford to buy a lot of British products, so exports will drop. The opposite is also true. So as the pound gets weaker, our exports will increase and our imports will go down. This means aggregate demand goes up. This is good for aggregate demand. So in some ways it may seem slightly strange, but from an economic point of view, it's good, at least in the short term, to have quite a weak currency. That means that you can sell your products to other countries and they'll want to buy them because they're really cheap. But at the same time, if you rely on buying products, on importing products from other countries, it's going to be a bit of a problem because they're going to be really expensive and you're not going to be able to afford as many of them. Another factor that affects imports and exports is the price of your goods compared to the price of the same goods in other countries. If your products are very expensive compared to other countries, then that means people won't want to buy them, so your exports will go down. So if a British-made car was really expensive compared to an American-made car or a Chinese-made car, then people would just buy the Chinese and American cars and they wouldn't bother with the British ones. So if your prices for your products are very high, then that usually means that your exports will go down, and therefore aggregate demand goes down as well. A third factor that you could talk about is the quality of the goods within the UK or whatever economy we're talking about. So the higher the quality of the goods, the more likely that people will want to buy them. So if you are a country that's known for producing high quality goods, then often you'll find your exports are very high. This is why German exports are really high, because Germans are often known for having very good standards, very high standards of manufacturing, so you can trust the quality of their products. However, here comes an evaluation point. If you're going to produce very high quality goods, it's probably going to mean that those goods are also very expensive. So although they might be very high quality, it doesn't necessarily mean that more people will want to export them. Because if they're very high quality and very expensive, it will put other countries off from wanting to buy your products. So the quality of your products is a third factor that will affect whether people want to import or export. A final factor that you would need to know is all about income. Income in your country and income in countries abroad. If we take the example of the UK again, if the income within the UK is generally high, that means that demand for products will be high. That therefore means that demand for imports will also be high as well. However, if income in other countries is high, that means people in other countries have more money, and so they will demand more imports from you. So if your income is high, generally your imports will go up. And if other incomes are very high, then that means generally your exports will go up. Now, another evaluation point you could bring in is that just because someone's income has gone up in a country, it doesn't mean necessarily that they can afford to buy your products. Remember, different countries have different incomes. So just because you say that a country has increased its level of income, that doesn't mean suddenly they can afford to buy your very expensive products. However, we do see examples, places like China, as the average income is rising and rising and rising, there is a higher and higher demand for high quality products, high quality European and British products, such as Burberry and Gucci. They do very well in China because there are a lot of people with a lot of money. So those are the factors that affect imports and exports. And just remember this, if your imports go up, but your exports stay the same, that means your aggregate demand goes down. If your exports go up, but your imports stay the same, then that means your aggregate demand goes up. That's everything you need to know about aggregate demand. If you like the video, please leave a comment or like us, and please follow us on Twitter @BrainCandyVideo for more updates of when the next videos will be coming out.